is agricultural policy expert Professor Zhang Linxiu. Welcome, Professor Zhang, to Miss China. Now, the public has indeed been expecting this number one document ever since President Hu Jintao and Premier Wen Jiabao toured the rural areas over the New Year holiday. But to my knowledge, the document has never received so much attention. Why is this?
I think, number one document has always been receiving attention, but this year is specifically so because China had been through, like any other countries, the financial crisis last year, so there were lots of uncertainties. On the other hand, the Chinese government made a lot of efforts in trying to cope with the financial crisis. I think rural areas is one particularly kind of attention that the government paid. That's why it's receiving high attention of the number one document.
Yeah, well, that's right. You mentioned the financial crisis, of course, and its impact. What are some of the daunting tasks for the agri-sector this year?
It's really a difficult question to answer, but there are many, many tasks that the government is dealing with in rural area and in agriculture, and particularly in the rural development as well. But I think among all of the things, the key would be really, continued kind of efforts or investment into rural areas, where in particularly pay attention to welfare supports and enhancing productivity capacity of rural people. Of course, we should not forget that, educate the rural people, getting them, empowered and capable of competing in this more competitive world, getting a job somewhere outside of agriculture sector. So that's also, yeah.
And there are those points that you mentioned, certainly, but is there another one of these important or impressive points from the document that really, makes an impact as far as you're concerned?
Well, people are talking about new highlighting of this document, but my impression about the document is that I'm happy to see a lot of continued efforts in areas that really one-year document or one-year efforts would not solve. For example, continued investing into kind of R&D, agricultural R&D and rural infrastructure, and improving the rural welfare. And of course, there are things linked to specifically training the rural laborers, getting them ready to the job market. I think those are really impressive to me.
Okay, well, we'll take these matters in more detail shortly.